Okay, one reason why European music has had such a strong influence throughout the world and why it is a sophisticated achievement is that over time, the original function of the music, whether ritual, dance, or worship, gradually became an aspect of its style, not its defining force.
All right, so what does that mean?
So basically, European music has become a strong influence throughout the world and sophisticated achievement um, because over time, its original function like gradually became an aspect of its style. So I guess it was like how it became more like independent. It wasn't just it wasn't popular just because of what it was originally used for.
Okay. So it became a stronger influence because the original function of the music became an aspect of its style. So we're saying like this music actually became its like own thing. Yep. Awesome. All right, go ahead and read the next sentence.
Dance music could stand independent of dance, for example, and sacred music independent of religious worship, because each composition has so much internal coherence that the music ultimately depends on nothing but itself.
So yeah, this definitely supports what you said, where it's like they kind of all became their own thing. So it's like, hey, both of these could kind of own their department. All right, so go ahead and start with A.
Okay. So African music has had a more powerful impact on the world than European music has had. Um, I mean, that could be true.
Could be true.
We
Yeah,
don't really know.
we have no idea. So we have no reason to not think that. So maybe it's true.
Um, European military and economic expansion partially explains the global influence of European music. That could also be true. That
Yeah,
could be the reason why it became so.
yeah, because it's just saying partially. It's not saying this is the only thing. Because we know that this, like, our stimulus just talks about one of the reasons. It's not saying that this is the only reason that it has had global influence. So excellent. All right, what about C?
Um, the original functions of many types of Chinese music are no longer their defining forces. Yeah, I mean that goes along with like what it was saying, how
Mhm.
um, music depends on nothing but itself.
Awesome.
Music that is unintelligible when it is presented independently of its original work tends to be the most sophisticated music. So I know like D is the right answer, but when I like was trying to figure out why, the word like unintelligible, I think was
Throwing you off.
something that I was, yeah,
Intelligible. I don't even know what it means. I thought unintelligent, but maybe that's not.
that's what I was thinking too.
Impossible to understand. So music that is impossible to understand when it is presented independently from its original function tends to be the most sophisticated. Um,
I just wasn't sure because it didn't like explicitly state that in the stimulus, like unintelligible or intelligible.
yeah, so impossible to understand. But I think it is saying that, like, I think what our thing is saying is that each music on its own can like be completely coherent. And so if something is unintelligible or is not or is impossible to understand, then it can't be the most sophisticated because it doesn't stand on its own or it can't be
Okay.
understood on its own.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because it says that the music depends on nothing else but itself. So like on it, yeah.
Hmm.
So that's why it's going to be D, which that's tricky.
Yeah.
And then go ahead and read E.
Um, some works of art lose their appeal when they are presented to serve a function other than their original one. Yeah, this is the answer I chose.
I don't hate it, but why is it? This is a tricky wrong answer.
I guess is it just because it's saying like works of art and
What does some mean?
some is like more than one?
At least one, right?
Or at least one.
So
Okay.
could there be at least one work of art that loses their appeal?
Yeah.
Yes, because we just know that there's been some things that, or in general, European music, right, has gradually done this, but there could be one artwork in general that has like whenever it doesn't, when they serve a function other than the original one, it does lose its appeal. I have no idea what it is, but there could be at least one. So it's such a mild answer.
Okay.
I looked up what other people say about answer choice D, and nobody is even giving good explanations. Like this person wrote, it says that music that becomes unintelligible when separated from its original function is the most sophisticated type. But the passage says that European music, which is highly sophisticated, is internally coherent, hence intelligible, even when detached from its original function. I feel like they just restate like what it says. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
So I do get what it's saying though, where it's saying that it is, when it's saying internal coherence, it's saying that it's completely intelligible on its own. So how can it be without? It should be able to stand on its own. But anyways,
Yeah.
I think that's a tough one.
Yeah.